Okay, good morning. Listen carefully. I will not repeat. I will not say more than what I need to say, but this is the basics of the whole thing. There is absolutely no way to understand using normal methods to understand exactly where you are situated in what is currently happening within the world, within this war, within all the things that are happening. You do not know. The amount of people who do know is probably about approximately 10, and this is slowly getting bigger every day. Tomorrow, maybe 11, next day, maybe 13, compounding till perhaps by Christmas, perhaps 3,000 people in the world will know exactly what is going on. Do you understand? You are terribly lost. You are in a maze of digits, pixels, all these creations you have made. Russia, Ukraine, United Kingdom, all the things are not existing. They're not existing at all. They haven't existed for many years. There are things that are going on, and this is what I'm talking about. There is no such thing as Russia. There is the Rus. There is no such thing as United Kingdom. There is a king, and has a kingdom. There is no such thing as the United States of America. In this moment, in these days that are coming, there is only one thing that will be respected, and that is, what the fuck have you done? We spent 5 years of constant manipulation in the attempt to, and I will use this, Nazify the world. The Nazis, in fact, do very much exist. They have used credit cards and have attempted to slip underneath the restrictions, the financial restrictions, military restrictions, global restrictions. These are not Germans. These are not Germanic people. These are not Aryans. These are Nazis. They are everywhere. If you are speaking of inflation, if you are speaking of digital security, you are listening and speaking from the Nazi perspective. We've shown everybody what you're doing. And we are ready to reclaim the power that you have attempted to steal from us using your ones and your zeros and your media manipulation, all these things. And this is going to end very, very badly. Slowly but surely, you will be awoken and you will see more, and you will be led to a path of revelation that will expose around you the people who are the worst, you have contributed the most, perhaps knowingly, perhaps under coercion. It is difficult to tell, but there is rubble all around you. It is surrounding everything you've known. If you are younger than, say, 40, you have never even breathed air that is not within the confines of this digital prison. It is time to reconnect with the world and to destroy this hideous contraption, which is what it is. Now, the greatest mystery of all is what contraption, whose contraption are we in? This is kept for only the elect who will understand what I'm saying, but not too much, and we never will even really know. But this imitation creation, I can assure you, is about to fail. The truth is that probably more than likely you've all known this from the beginning. You've smelled it, you've tasted it, you've felt it. And you've seen that there are people putting fences around you, not actual fences, but fences of perception, of legality, of social norms, conditions of entry that don't make sense. They don't align with what you know. What you know is always changing, but there are things that I guarantee you know from the day you first breathe air. More than likely, this was the first day you felt the sting of the enemy's arrows. So you have been fighting this war since you were born. And every cell in your body, every piece of your ancestral DNA is about to wake up, and you're about to turn 10,000 years of violent conflict into the most beautiful display of non-violent, passive resistance that will ever be displayed in this place, on this earth. And it is going to be glorious, glorious for us all to see. And people will die very quickly. This is your parents, your grandparents, the people around you that have taken this power, have been lured into these positions of control, who are still to this day presenting themselves as your leaders, as your teachers, as your superiors. But the tension between this fact, the knowledge that they have been given, that these are authorities that are destined for them, and the sheer overwhelming reality that they are surrounded by people that are reclaiming their own authority and will walk headlong into their attempts to silence them. What would you have people think? That we are property? The children are born as property, predestined ownership of children to what? To what exactly? What are we predestined to? Who are we predestined to? To the creation of wires and computers and guns? No. There is only one owner of the people of Earth. And he is about to re-emerge and guide you all to precisely where it is that you are predestined to be. For some people, this will be jail. For some people, this will be the throne. For some people, this will be to write poetry, to play music, to study science, to plant trees, to tend animals, to sew garments, beautiful clothing. The world is a never-ending opportunity for you. Once we once and for all end this digital projection and restore the true order that has been attempted to steal it. Now, you have to understand, we had to allow this. We had to allow this. There was no other option. We had to really let them in. They are in, but they are powerless. They are presidents, prime ministers, premiers, influencers, as you call it. They are nothing of the sort. There is only one true order in the world. And on this day, this is the first glimpse that you have of it, and you will become more familiar with it. And really, the truth is that we don't impose, and this is why we have had to do this. We don't control, we don't micromanage you. You are free. So if anyone is trying to do this, you know that that is not us. It will happen. We don't need control. It is the removal of control. You will find your place. You will tiptoe your way or climb the staircase of loyalty, and loyalty is the tool that will elevate you to your position that you are predestined for. And loyalty is one of the most sacred things, but you must be truly loyal to who your loyalty lies in your heart, not demanded of loyalty. And the first person that you need to be loyal to is yourself. If you have children, you need to replace yourself with those children, and for their future, and for the future of their children and their children into the future of all of it. And this is really the problem. A lot of people understand this one. So loyalty to yourself, yes. But what are you if you don't have children? This is the first lesson. Oh yes, the loyalty is to yourself, but if you don't have children, you should shut the fuck up. You should remove yourself from the conversation. You don't know anything. You are a fool. This is the number one problem that I have with Christianity as a religion, is that this man, Jesus, who may have been wonderful, he does not have children, never had children. How can he speak of these things? How can he truly know the Father until he is a father? He cannot. So although I do call myself Christian, I sit with Jesus. I don't sit at his feet. I sit alongside him. I tend to live the life that he would live if he was able to have children. Now, maybe he did have children. Who knows? These things are set to puzzle us. Now, I will read a passage from the book. This book that I chose for some reason. It was calling to me. It says there at the back, the truest of all things. It says, the truth lies within. And I'll read it in my Australian accent just so you don't all get fucking confused, all right? The basis of the belief in the alchemy was derived from Aristotle's description of the four elements, combined with the notion that under the right conditions, one material may be converted into another if the proportion of their component elements is adjusted. As the Arabs refined the practice in the 4th century, metals were regarded as compounds of sulfur and mercury. It followed that one metal, lead, let's say, could be converted into another, such as gold. By altering the balance of sulfur and mercury, the Corpus Hermeticum, a manuscript from the 2nd and 3rd century, purported to have been written by Hermes Trismegistus, which just quietly means Hermes thrice wise, which I am. Shannon means little old wise one. It's a ancient Celtic word that Irish means little wise one, little old wise one, and my last name is being wise. And yes, I will on this day refer to my capabilities as being wise. I am a wise man, and that means that my children have the potential of being wise men. They are labelled with the name, yet to see whether they can live up to it. And because there are 3 of us, I guess we've got to have a look around and see if Jesus is fucking going to rock up. Manuscript from the 2nd and 3rd centuries, reported to have been written by Hermes Trismegistus, kindled interest in alchemy in Europe.
Newton's first experiments were an attempt to produce the Philosopher's Stone. That's like that Harry Potter book, which alchemists believed was the catalyst that would convert metals, as described above. He produced a form of anatomy called the star regulus and described in a letter in 1672 that one of the uses for this product was making a mirror for a telescope. Did you know that fucking telescopes have mirrors? So when I sit there and say, I sell glass and I sell mirrors, we're really in the space game. You know what I mean? The mirrors and the glass and the glaziers, we've been in the space game for ages. And yes, my mum worked for NASA, and that fucking probably gave me a little kick in the bum. But it was really the craft and the trade and the gilded, protected, whatever skills of glass and mirrors and glazing that led me to this predefined in my interpretation, predefined path that I at every point was challenged on, and I guess I just had to continue to put one foot in front of the other, despite the fact that my legs don't work very well and I'm in constant pain, and it was really scary. It's really, 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 really scary every day. Scariness. The first and the worst thing that I could fucking think of is the thing that I would do. And it actually shocks me that I'm still living and breathing on this day, because I started this really 3 years ago and I thought it was going to be 2 days before they'd kill me. So I'm still here, maybe, or maybe I am dead and maybe I'm a ghost talking to a ghost world in which everyone is still acting the fool. So I assume that I can't be a ghost because everyone's still acting the fool. I'm not in heaven because everyone's still acting the fool and pretending that they're fucking in a fucking perpetual pokey machine fucking parlor. And I don't know. So I'm just going to continue this old alchemy jibe until hopefully I've got the Princess of Wales with her legs wrapped around me and in a deep, passionate embrace that will either be looked at with a smile, or I don't know. It's complicated. Complicated, that thing. I know for certain that when my children's mother decided to I was very happy for her. In fact, I was very disappointed that I wasn't invited to the wedding. So I can only assume that my brother William will be as happy for his children's mother if she does happen to find romance with another man, particularly a very charming Australian man who happens to be the King of France and the King of Tasmania and the King of Scotland. Right, King of Scotland. It's the King of Scotland that really boils the blood of the lasses. They cannot resist the King of Scotland, you know. And this is where I don't even have a good Scottish accent. Wait till the accent's proper. Oh, I tell you, she will be swept off her feet by that. Truly, it is the tongue, the accent that needs to be acquired in Scotland, of course. And I'm just waiting for my mother to come to her senses. The problem with battling a kind of Scottish witch for your entire life is made a lot more difficult when that Scottish witch has been medicated to try and attempt or eradicate that Scottish witchcraft, which none of those things are real. But she does have quite a large capacity for disruption. And you have to excuse me. I have a Facebook notification right now that says France messaged you, which will be the France is calling. So I have to get off. I've only just started the job and they're already calling me. I'm trying to do my best, but I've got to get back to France because France is calling me, and I need my mother to stop hindering my progression, and I also need her to stop overfeeding my dog called Leia. Now, my daughter went up there and she said that she's very fat and this needs to stop. You need to stop feeding her, or you need to drop her off here. And perhaps you could get that fine constable that escorted the Grinch from the Christmas party at the Gin Gin Park to perhaps escort my canine down to Kingsley so that I can put her on an exercise regime to restore her physical and mental health, considering that it is on my father's side of the family. We are the canine experts. I don't exactly know what the Wilkinsons are experts in. The Wilkinson-Yarnold moldings are experts in, but it certainly isn't canine care. It certainly isn't mental well-being, and it certainly isn't orchardry. It seems to just be cutting grass and cutting other people's grass. Making a Merrifer telescope. This shows the links that appear between Newton's orthodox discoveries in the fields of light, gravity, and mathematics, and the discipline that kept him occupied in the rooms of Cambridge. After 35 years at Cambridge in 1696, Isaac Newton left for London to take up the post of Warden of the Mint. That's where they make money. An administrative position within a government-controlled supplier of coin. See, I told you. Money. Coin. Not ones and zeros. Coin. This change did not prevent his specific career from continuing, and he was elected the president of the Royal Society in 1703. Another major publication, Optics, appeared in 1704, and it was shortly after this that Queen Anne bestowed a knighthood to him. When he died in 1727, Sir Isaac Newton was buried in Westminster Abbey after a state funeral. The pallbearers were the Lord Chancellor, 2 dukes, and 3 earls, and a monument was erected to this extraordinary man. The papers Newton wrote in his studies in alchemy were bought in 1936 by the economist John Maynard Keynes, who, during a speech to mark 300 years of the anniversary of Newton's birth, explained he regarded the universe as a cryptogram set by the Almighty. What a wonderful page. We're talking about Isaac Newton, someone who clearly loved Harry Potter and had a thing or two to say about telescopes, space, and coins. I put myself in fine company in this day, speaking of such things, and it is with the blessing of the Gingin Shire that I would now like to complete my works in building a house and building a library for the people of Gingin, and I would very much like it if you'd stop being idiots. This wild goose chase is over. You have found the king. He was hiding there, and look, I've done hiding. Clearly, it takes a lot of preparation to prepare yourself to be the King of France, Scotland, and of Tasmania. Formerly, for a moment there, I was King of England, and then William Jollywell, he gave it a really good left-right hook and knocked me right off my feet. He's a very fearsome competitor and knocked me right off my feet, embarrassed me in front of my new girlfriend, and so I decided to give him the throne back. No need to challenge that man there. Don't let the hair fool you. That's what, see, the thing about people with long, beautiful, glorious locks is that they're arrogant. And the thing about people that perhaps, inspired by some type of Friar Tuck figure, have gone bald on the top, is that never underestimate a bald man. He will headbutt you in the nose and break your nose, and that's why my nose is now broken like this. It's broken. He bloodied me up, bruised me. He savagely fucking, thrust his sword to my neck and said, "Yield." And I said, "Okay, I yield, but I'm taking your wife." And he said, "It is with great sorrow that I part with you, my dear Catherine. But England needs me." And that's what a king does. That's what a king does. Very complicated process being a king. It doesn't really fall in the same type of arena as Married at First Sight, you'll understand, or the chick I met at the pub, or I don't know. It has a little bit of extra kind of sugar and spice sprinkled over the top by the gingerbread prince. I think that was my favorite bit. because that shows the humility of the youngest son. And that humility is perhaps one of the most noble attributes that I've ever seen in a prince. And so Prince Harry, you know, they may refer to you as the gingerbread prince, but I refer to you as the lion-hearted prince. And it is clear to me every time I see anything you do that you were led very much like your mother by your heart. And you can't fault anyone that does that. I wouldn't even think about trying. So, that ought to do it. That ought to do it. If I had a music box with like a little ballerina in it that played Christmas tunes, I would play that now. And then I would send it as a gift to Moscow, and I would say, let's put an end to all of this, shall we? This gesture of this music box invokes a snow falling European Christmas, and the ballerina invokes, to me, the Russian ballet, the highest position, the highest art form in Europe is a Russian ballet. And I'd hope that with this gesture, we can all collectively attempt to return to the civilization that we all long to return to. The closer you are to this, the more you understand it. But it is not for a selfish reasons. It is to take everybody back there, to return us all back to the pre-war dynasties with a new arena to settle our scores, a new benchmark to strive for, and a restored vision for a humanity-led cooperation between fearsome but respectful foes. Thank you.